paint manufacturing. How is it done? There are many different reasons why paint is used every day. This includes decorative purposes, flame protection, water sealing and sanitation, depending on the properties and purpose of the paint being used. Paint is made from 4 key components. What is paint made from? Pigments. Control the color and the finish of the paint when dry. There are different types of pigment. Prime pigments includes shades of white made from titanium oxide. Yellow, the extender pigments. This set of pigments includes compounds including calcium carbonate, talc, mica, and barium sulfates amongst others. Resin. This component acts as a binder between all of the products so that they stick together and to the surface that you are painting upon application. Most paints use an acrylic emulsion polymer to bind it. PVA is used generally to formulate paint with a lower base material cost. Resins can also be used to provide protective coating. These include epoxy, polysiloxane and urethane. Solvent. The solvent can be organic, mineral or water-based, which then acts as a carrier for the pigment and resin. This helps with the application and distribution of the additives. Properties given by mixing additives to the paint help with effectives such as resistance to mold and scuffing, quicker drying times, and make the paint itself easier to handle during application. Manufacturing the paint. To make sure that the paint works as it should, you need to accurately measure the amounts of each of the product. There are many different things that need to be taken into account, including the color that you want, the finish and the amount of paint that you want to use. To make sure that the paint works well, you need to make sure that all the measurements of all the ingredients need to be very accurate. Pigments within the paint have a tendency to stick together, making the color uneven. To give a smooth and even color distribution throughout the paint, these clumps of color need to be broken down and wetted by the resin. After the paint manufacturing process, the additives added then prevent any further separation. As well as adding additives, high-speed mixers are used to ensure complete mixing of the paint. For more stubborn mix clumps, other methods may need to be used. And ball mills are used for smaller amounts of hard-to-remove pigment. The rolling and tumbling motion of the porcelain balls breaks up the pigment. And bead mills work similarly to the ball mills, but are used for larger batches. The beads are made out of 3 mm diameter beads made of zirconium dioxide. This mixing occurs at a higher speed with a more rapid and bar mills are used in paint that is highly viscous. In this process, the mill base is forced through a tiny gap between a roller which is cooled with water and rotating.